Yo, let's get right into it. We're gonna be ready to go. We're gonna do two more videos. Then I'm gonna go outside and do something. Anyways, let's get straight to it.
Done a pretty damn good job, all things considered. I think there have been a bunch of moments that we should be really happy that we got that we wouldn't have got before. I mean, even someone like Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble, I don't think the old WWE would have taken that risk, and I love it. I know it created a bunch of back and forth on the internet, but that's fine. I'm a content creator. It gives me content to create. But I don't think the introduction of the Women's US and Intercontinental Championships were they just weren't very good, whether they came out of nowhere and they felt a little bit lackluster. I just feel like they should have been coronated on a bigger show, like a WrestleMania or a SummerSlam or a Rumble or whatever you want to do. Maybe you could have created your own, not your own pay-per-view, but you could have taken one of the PLEs that we do have, and that should have been the main event. It just came and went so fast. There wasn't a big announcement. It just happened randomly on a SmackDown. I think the first one was. Nick Aldis just told us. I think that's what happened. I can't remember. But that's the point. It should have been a moment in time that we could have gone back to, and instead it came and it went. And even now, the two champions, like Lyra Valkyria, and again, this is not the talent's fault at all. It goes to the creative team. Lyra Valkyria has great matches, but she hasn't had one proper feud since he's won that thing, and sometimes you can't even get on TV. And Chelsea Green on the other side has been doing so much entertaining stuff. You know, her secret harvest, whatever the flub it's called. They're so much fun. But that belt too, I mean, she did all that stuff with Meacham, which was fine, but it was kind of drawn out. And then the Zelina Vega feud was all over the place because Zelina lost to Piper Niven, but then she was still kind of chipping away. I just feel like, especially what we have done with the men's Intercontinental title especially, that should be the template for whatever kind of title you are trying to rehabbing. So to bring these into the world and almost put them at a level that the old belts used to be, I just don't really get it. And I'm sure there was a reason for it. Maybe they realised that they didn't have, a better time to debut them. But you make the time, or you figure it out, or you delay them, because I do think it's right that they should be on the television. Of course, the women should have a mid-card title, for lack of a better term. But we can just do more with it. So now I actually get more disappointed about it because it's there, and I get to see it, and just kind of flounders around a little bit. And part B to that would probably be all the tag team divisions. I think there's more potential there too.
I suppose if you're pushing me for an answer, failing to sign Will Ospreay. There, right, I'll give you that one, because Will Ospreay is just sensational, the best wrestler in the world probably right now. And for me, and this isn't necessarily put your foot on the throat of AEW and keep applying pressure, but in my opinion, Triple H should have tried to move heaven and earth to sign Will Ospreay, because he's going to be the guy for AEW. We are on the road. We talk about it constantly on our AEW podcast. We're on the road to finally crowning Will Ospreay as AEW World Champion. It feels insane that he hasn't become World Champion already, but it's not like they've missed opportunities. He's had incredible moments at Wembley. He's had, how many good matches? Sensational, phenomenal, 5 stars, blah, 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 blah. How many matches does he have? It's week in, week out. You have to, you could probably get a 5-star match out of me, Andy. He is genuinely unbelievable, and people have known this for a long, long time. And let's be honest, WWE have been sniffing around him for a long time, from the time he was in WCPW. You're welcome, AEW, by the way. But I still remember, I think it was Paul Heyman offering him a contract when he was on an Inside the Ropes tour thing.
An Evolve contract.
Yes. Yeah. They should have tried to sign him, not just to keep him away from AEW, but because he's the best, and they should always try and get the best. I'd also be fascinated to see not what a Will Ospreay would look like in WWE, but what Will Ospreay would have done to WWE's output. Yes, in all likelihood, they'd have been slow it down, kid, and change what he's done and limited him, to be perfectly honest. But what if there's a version of events where they're like, Jesus, look at what this guy can do, and that opens the doors to them kind of, loosening the reins somewhat on some of the other stars that they've got, who are not as talented. No one's as talented as Will Ospreay, but is right up there in my opinion. Look, I get it. He doesn't embrace the grind. That's fair enough at the end of the day.
He ran from it, actually.
It's a bit of a bitch move saying that about him. Let's be perfectly honest. You're just you're the guy who's I never wanted to date her anyway, so ugly if anything for me. He's the best. Obviously they wanted to sign him. Obviously they should have signed him. For me, that's Triple H's biggest mistake.
Nice. I've gone for a smaller scale option than some of the bigger picture stuff on this video, and go for a specific booking decision that I still look at in 2025 and go, what are we doing? What are we doing? That being the failure to capitalise on Chad Gable post heel turn last year. I think it was shortly after he signed his new contract with the Fed. I think the Sami Zayn storyline was really solid stuff, building up to this awesome Raw match. with a really well executed heel turn, where Chad just comes from behind off camera and suplexes this guy over his head. And it's like, cool, we're off to the races. This is a different booking era. We're 2 years into the Triple H stuff at this stage, but it's an era where people like Chad Gable can expect more of a chance. And this is a guy that loads of people have been calling for a big singles POOSH for a long time. And we never got it. We simply never got it. Now, he has been on television with greater frequency since the angle, and he is probably very happy because he shows up to work. He gets 15 minutes on Raw every week, goes home, pretty chill. So he's, this is better than Shorty G, obviously. But I just look at his creative since then. The de-emphasis of him as a single star, the way the American Made stable has been handled. My God. I mean, that had so much promise to start with. You have this really exciting jock idiot tag team in the Creed brothers. They're really fun. They throw people around. Brutus does a crazy cannonball that he maybe should not do forever. But, and Ivy Nile's a lot of fun as well. And it's like you pair them with Chad Gable and it's like, cool, here we go. Very quickly, it just becomes a punchline for a Kurt Angle chant that you artificially put into the theme tune so that you can, get the "you suck" in 2025. They very quickly descend into just a gang of jokers who wear dungarees that have the American flag on them, and they never really win anything of significance. They fart around, they do this, they do that, and now Chad Gable, you tell this stupid story of him having. Okay, so fundamentally, starting off, Chad Gable having trouble with luchadors, whatever, you can do some cool wrestling-centric stuff with that. Instead, you come up with this grande Americano nonsense. Look, it's quite a funny name. It's a Starbucks order, okay? Give them a bit of credit for that. It's stupid, right? It's really stupid. But you piss off everyone in Mexico with the portrayal of this. You use a stupid AI vignette that has, dudes with 20 fingers. The thing that got renamed, I won't mention it specifically, but I probably shouldn't have done that either. The whole thing's just a shambles. And it's like, look, this is a kind of wrestling story that the man under the mask who everyone knows, it's been done in wrestling since the 50s, right? It's nothing new. But this particular execution of it just feels like the biggest pile of slop, fake nonsense. And I just can't fathom not capitalising on Chad a year ago. If they'd done that, we wouldn't be here and living through all this crap. Why did American Made turn into a stupid meme act where I've got a bandana and I make a silly face? It's like, cool, just go and have a killer wrestling match, my dude. Chad Gable, since day one, I have always thought, since day one when he was doing the story with Jason Jordan in NXT and he was trying to convince him to be his tag team partner, I was like, this guy's got the Kurt Angle goofball charisma. It's right there. He's a little dorky guy who is also a killer pro wrestler. The parallel was very, very clear and it's never transpired, and sadly I don't think it ever will.
Now, obviously, there's been an awful lot of good over the last couple of years since Triple H has taken over as the head of WWE Creative, or whatever the hell his title is. I've completely forgotten now. But there's been a lot of good stuff. Great storylines, great matches, great angles, characters, all these things. Just moments that make your mind explode and go, oh, this is why I love wrestling. There's been a lot of that, of course. But there's also been a few mistakes here or there. There's been a few things where you go, oh, why have they done that? This is wrestling. It's weekly. It's always there. It's always on. There are bound to be times when things just don't work for a number of reasons. Sometimes it's just people not connecting with characters.
Alright, this will we watched 8 minutes of this video. This video is a whole 20 minutes. We can't do that. Let's not do that. Anyways,